So that which is immortal has nothing to fear ever. Existence will cause you no harm, for you are just part of itself. Should you find yourself out of body again as a freed soul, simply re-enter the bardo for the selecting of yet another womb for rebirth. Now, isn't that a nice thought? Well, it's good news and bad news, of course, if we don't clear up the life in this time, if we don't get rid of what we have to do now, if we don't face what it is we have to do, we have to come back and do it again. But the difference about the life between lives is it's not new. Because some people have started writing about it over the last few years, people think it's a new thing. It's not. It goes back to the time of the Mayans, the Aztecs, early Egyptians. I mean, think about it. They, in their great tombs in the pyramids, they buried their dead with dogs and jewels and vessels and wives and mistresses. You know, they wanted to be really comfortable, so they took their wives with them. Isn't that funny? They always think about that. So they took their wives with them in the tombs. So they were getting ready for the interlife. They were getting ready. They were planning for what's next. So when you go into bardo, or the interlife, or life between lives, you're resting, you're recuperating, and you're learning. So you have a choice of going to a school, a laboratory, a choice of interacting with your soul circle, which is magnificent. These are truly your soul mates. These are the souls that you travel through many lifetimes with. And then you go to the council, the people who advise you, and advising sounds a little bit like wagging a finger. It's not like that at all. It's just advice and counsel, how you're doing, where you need to go. And then you go to the place where you choose your next body. And for me, that's the best part, because it's almost like trying on new shoes. You know, you go to a store, you say, let me see if I want those, or are the heels too high? Let me see if I want those so they look good. So you get to try on the body to see if that body will fit what it is you need to do. So if you've got a purpose in this life, which you find out along the way from your guide, you try on the body to see if it will work. Now, that sounds wonderful, and it is wonderful. But the good thing about really understanding the process of the interlife is it's modular. So you can use pieces of it. What do I mean by that? Well, in reality, anything that goes beyond the womb work, and I don't know, I'm sure some of you do womb work, but anything that goes beyond the womb is the interlife. And let me tell you how I used it once. I had a young man who phoned, not so young, he phoned about 2 years ago and said, could I help his wife remember who she was? And I said, well, I don't know. I'd have to talk to her and see what was going on. I couldn't give you a direct answer over the phone. So she came in, and she was a woman in her mid-60s. She was a delicious, lovely woman, you know, one of these cuddly, round, looks like a cottage loaf, you know, like this. And she taught seniors line dancing, and she was a real going concern. She was fabulous. But it seems that when she was 17 years old, she'd found herself on a bench in a park, and all scratched and bruised, and didn't know how she got there. No purse, nothing on her, just her clothes. And she sat there at a loss, not knowing what to do. And a woman came and sat next to her, and the two of them started to chat. And the woman took her home and said, come and have something to eat and drink. I'll make you a cup of tea. Must have been English. Make you a cup of tea. Come home, and we'll call the police. So they called the police. The police had no record of anything. No record of anything at all in the way of an accident. No record of anybody missing. Nothing. So she stayed with this woman for a few days. Eventually, they started connecting with other police across Canada. Nothing. No report. Nothing. She got herself a job in the Arthur Murray Dance School because she knew she liked to dance. And there she met the man that would become her husband. And he knew her story, but nobody else did except the woman and the husband. And all through the years, right up until the time she's in her mid-60s now, they've not been able to find anything about who she is. They went to Interpol. They hired detectives. They hired lawyers. They did everything they could. And the husband, who's a bit of a computer whiz, when the computers first started, would work with that as well. Couldn't find anything. Their chiropractor recommended that they come to me. So she came, and I listened to the story. I said, well, let's see what we can do. So I did a regular regression, but she got stuck at 12. She wouldn't go back beyond 12. So we left it at that, and we made an appointment for next week. And I went home, and I opened up. You know you do. You get yourself out the way, and you ask, okay, you know, you're so smart up there, tell me what to do. I just heard was go in backwards. So she came in, and I said to her, you know, I'm going to do something that might seem a little strange to you. I hope it's okay with you. She said, Georgina, I'm in your hands. Just go. So I took her back through the womb into the interlife and asked permission from her guides that she met there to come into the womb again and to be reborn in this life. The minute she came into this lifetime, boom, she remembered her name. She knew she was one of 6 children. She got the name of her 2 siblings, not all 6, but 2 of them. She got her father's name. Didn't get anything else. She couldn't remember her mother's name. She was so excited she brought herself out of hypnosis, ran out of the clinic room, into the waiting room, and said, so excited the 2 of them just left. Right? I wasn't worried about payment because I knew they'd be back. They were so excited, and I was so moved. You could imagine. A week later, I get a call, and she's crying. She said, Georgina, I've just had an email, and it says, I think I'm the sister you've been looking for. Yeah. I mean, I still get goosebumps. And she started. She found her family. She has now got a passport that she's never had.